Hey everyone, Sprawlsy here, and I have been reading through the Chronicles of Narnia books. 7 books in total, and I've been reading them in reading order and then giving them a nice review. I will link the ones I've done already so far, as I am now through to book 5 in the reading order, which is The Voyage of the Dawn Treader. So the Chronicles of Narnia are the adventures of various people in the wonderful world of Narnia, as written by C.S. Lewis. So book 5 in the reading order is The Voyage of the Dawn Treader. So in the previous books, the main 2 books, Lion the Witch and the Wardrobe, Prince Caspian, who had the 4 kids, Peter, Susan, Lucy and Edmund, go into Narnia on a couple of occasions. In this book, we lose Peter and Susan and only have Edmund and Lucy, who are joined by a new kid called Eustace. Eustace is a bit of a rotten person at the beginning of the book, but goes through a nice journey for him to be a very pleasant, respectable person by the end of the book. In a nutshell, the story is Peter and Susan not there at all, but Edmund, Lucy and Eustace are whooshed away into the world of Narnia, where they board a Narnian ship called the Dawn Treader, captained by Prince Caspian, or now King Caspian, as he became in the Prince Caspian book, as they go on a quest to locate some 7 lords who were banished from Narnia before Caspian became king. So his quest takes him to various places in the seas beyond Narnia, where he finds out what happened to all these lords and has various adventures on the way with Edmund, Lucy and Eustace in tow. And obviously along the route a couple of times they will bump into Aslan. The book itself is pretty long compared to the earlier books in the series, but still I was able to read it over a couple of days. It is quite engaging, in keeping with C.S. Lewis's style. It's not overly descriptive and leaves a lot to your imagination, as in to fill in those gaps. And I think part of the aim of this book was to see what the world is like beyond Narnia, as you don't actually see Narnia at all in this book. So you go through the whole book and there's no Narnia at all. I mean, from the moment the kids arrive into this world, it's straight into the sea and onto the ship, the Dawn Treader. And even when it comes to the end of the book, there's still no Narnia. So it's a bit of a strange book in that respect, but obviously all the people on the ship are from Narnia. So you meet some old favourites, such as Caspian, and also the little mouse, Reepicheep, who was in Prince Caspian and had a lot to do. Very, very sword-ho, quite keen to get in a fight, and there's much more of this in this book. And part of the end is being characters wanting to see Aslan's world, which is beyond the edge of the world. I kind of think this book sort of implies that Narnia is flat and is not a round place. Basically implies Narnia is, the world that Narnia is in is very different to our very own world. And it also implies at the end, or in my interpretation, that Aslan is a god, which kind of makes sense coming from the previous books, as into seeing when you see the power of Aslan from previous books and his all-knowing nature, and can't be anything other than a god. But in this one, it's very much more implied that he is also God, ruler of the universe or something like that. Where in previous books I didn't find Aslan a very worthwhile character, as in, you know, in Prince Caspian and Lion, the Witch in the Wardrobe leaves Narnia to be ruled over by a wicked witch and some mean people. So, I was like, God, why didn't Aslan do anything about it? And why did he wait for some kids to come in from our world before he actually did anything? But in this one, his absence very much understandable, as it's Caspian just wanting to go on a jolly good adventure. Okay. And like any other book, there's many characters you meet along the way. So yeah, it's very well written, very enjoyable. Bit on the lengthier side compared to the earlier ones, but still, and I kind of imagine C.S. Lewis wanted to see a bit more of the whole world that Narnia sits within. And you very much do some very mystical places, again in keeping with the mystical nature of Narnia. So it's a very enjoyable book. But again, get to the end and I'm like, Aslan says to Lucy and Edmund, this is their last trip to Narnia as they're too old to come back. But in keeping with previous books, I'm like, why are they too old? There's plenty of adult humans living in Narnia, Caspian being one of them. So why can Lucy and Edmund never return? It's a mystery to me. And actually, that's one reason why I'm still not a fan of Aslan, even in this book. I kind of appreciate him more, but still not a big fan, because it's like, why can't they come back to Narnia? But Eustace will be seen again, as is implied at the end of this book. So, can't remember too much of the details now. My memory is fading a bit on the book. But for characters, go from island to island, determining what happened to the lords, bit of mixed fates, and again, plenty of things left to your imagination. And for main character journey is for Eustace, goes from being a rotten tomato to being a awesome member of society, and he even gets to spend a bit of time as a dragon. So if you've not read this book, give it a read. If you're reading the whole of Narnia, then you've got to read this within it as well. Can't remember the movie that was made after it. Such a long time ago. The Voyage of the Dawn Treader movie. Can't remember. So I can't really compare it to the book because I just can't remember the movie. Hope you've liked the review. I've got 2 more to come, and feel free to read the Chronicles of Narnia books. I do highly recommend. And this particular copy came from courtesy of my parents and was bought back in the time when books cost 95p, as it says on the back of this one. I will be back soon to do the next book in the series, which is The Silver Chair. In the meantime, have a fantastic rest of your time, and I'll see you soon. Bye!